Hello, welcome back. Oh boy, what a week, eh? What a weird week. Wow, it's almost embarrassing. Here you can see this is that's six. That's the final assignments I have to grade for you all. Hopefully those will be done by the end of the day. I apologize. We had that all-day meeting on Tuesday. Then I don't know if you guys know, like Adobe's been pumping out all their new updates to the software. I know some of you have downloaded it because I was opening your files here and it's like, oh no, they use 2025. I'm like, so I had to download here. I downloaded at home and then I ended up having to update the hardware in my computer. So that took me out for most of yesterday. I had to get a whole new internal hard drive. If people know a PC, my C drive was full and could not download any more Adobe products. So I had to get that fixed yesterday too. So that's where I'm at. But whatever, because also Monday, all your history, if you're in history with me, done. We're done. How great is that? I'm going to do something weird. I'm going to show you the do's and don'ts. One was bold type, which was a mistake from previous, but don't use all bold in body copy. It's just not needed. It's like yelling at people. Don't use bold in body copy. Use bold in titles. It's for hierarchy. The other quick one, I won't like hang on to the things like forever here. Like we'll move quickly. It's Thursday. Is this one. If you're doing text boxes, man, I want decent amount of space. It should generally be like most at the bottom and then everywhere else equal. Don't do this. I see this all the time. Don't. Like a lot of space. Like I always feel like want to be able you can stick your finger in between the text box edge and your text. Like you want a decent amount of space there. Like it shouldn't look like it's about to spill out. This is exaggerated, but I hope you guys, like whenever I'm talking about like it's too tight, man, you should just be able to like look at it and feel like it's framed within a frame. Just if I go even like an 16th inch more on this, it's gonna look like crap. So just kind of keep that in mind. I'm not a big text box user, but if you are, and that's part of your design style, make sure you're doing it right. Do it good. Do it right. I was going through. So here's the new part. I was going through, and actually some of you are on the list. I'm not calling people out on this. So please. I was going through assignments today. I was like, oh, I should show them about this. Oh, I should show them about that. Oh, I should show that. And I thought, you know what? I'm just going to show the assignments and quickly talk about what I would do or things that I see when I'm like, oh, this could be adjusted. Oh, look at how this works. If I'm showing your work, please don't be like, but you didn't tell me earlier. I may not have in preparation for the end of the week and when I was doing midweek reviews and then I was out of town this weekend. So if I didn't get to it, no big deal. You got your grades. Your grades are good. Whatever. You guys are doing pretty good. But I'm just going to show you a bunch of pieces and be like, here, this is something that stands out to me that you should notice. And I'm going to go through them quick, and then we're going to talk about Dr. Bronner's magic soaps. All right. Here, this one. All right. It's a great little piece. And you know what? I'm excited that the designer used a real piece of paper. But I'm not excited about the lines. We all have a memory to some of these things, and the lines aren't good enough for me. And I know that sounds really weird. Oh, I had to close it out. I had an image placed in there. I'm all about like, and I've seen this happen a lot. I see this, the loose leaf paper one comes up all the time. And I always say the first response to people is, did you actually look at a piece of loose leaf paper? Go on the internet, find one, and match it exactly. This is going out of phase too, so meaning like, I don't know what kids are really using loose leaf paper anymore. It's going the way of the newspaper as an example. Like when I used to have to do like client would come and they'd be like, we want it to look like a classified ad in the newspapers. And we'd like write back, or we'd have a meeting with them and be like, guess what? Nobody reads newspapers anymore, and nobody knows what a classified ad is. And this is over a decade ago. Like, we'd have to talk people down. Oh, look, loose leaf paper search. So I did do it. And you like find one, and then I, click it in and bring it in. Like, this is an actual piece, and you can get like exact matching on color, or like just use this, use this. Don't make one, use one. It's always about like, if it's available and out there, there's no reason to like fake it. Just get one. Get the actual image and be perfect. There's a point where you're like, well, no, but I want it to look fun and kitty. Well, you do that fake crayon drawing on there, but I hope that comes across. Like, so I would have, take that image, pull it in there, and then I would like make sure my sizing is correct, my color blue is correct, like all that. Like, it's not that hard. Because, there's thin line and thick line, college ruled, not college ruled. Let's just crop this. All I want to do is like do this. Could be mask, make. And then I can get my line spacing correct. It's weird, but the mind knows, like when we see these things and be like, it seems somewhat correct, but not perfectly correct. Get perfect. Takes you like 2 minutes. It's like one of those things. Very easy to do. That comes across. I get these loose leaf paper ones all the time. But yeah, and then I always say, make sure it's an actual real piece of loose leaf paper. It'll look better. There's one idea there. Again, I'm not calling anybody out. So don't be like, oh, he's mad at me. No. This one, they went through all the trouble to like get this image, then put this thing on, looks good. But then this black fuzziness is really bad. Honestly, like my honest opinion is like, you went through all this trouble. How much harder was it to just like add a new layer, grab the pen tool and just be like, boop, 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 and like follow them through a couple minutes, get it. And then you have a vector instead of this fuzzy. Like, the time, I don't even know how they did this black image, but for me to figure out this black image, I would have just traced this and been done and would have had a vector on vector. Because then what happens is you have a vector with something that should be vector but isn't vector, and then it's fuzzy. And I don't think the time saving is even there. And it especially doesn't work because of this open, head thing is vector that goes into a rasterized piece. So think about, that's another one. Just again, think about it like, how much longer would it really take me to make it great? Yeah, that's it. And I know sometimes we're working on it and we don't think about that. And I say like, this project should just, take you like 30 minutes, but this is like 5 minutes. And then like idea 10, 5, 5, 5, they should be pretty quick shootouts. But then again, I don't know the time it took to make this image compared to that image. Is that just image trace? I don't know. But I would have just pen tool, bump, done. Like, and then it would have been a very nice, accurate vector matching all the other vector. So it depends on where you want to cut corners. With all this hair sticking up here, it looks really bad. Yeah. All right. Don't save. This one, the computer doesn't do it all. So this is force justified, like fully force justified, but the period, and then there's a gap there. So that text block just isn't looking right. It ends in. See that? Like this, it should be slammed all the way to the side. You may have to hand do this. All right. The computer in its spacing and says this needs to go past. I would literally do this. X that out. Add a new line. Paste it in. And then hand do this part. You make it a text box. So I can do that. And then I can run that period all the way so it matches everything else. I do this all the time. And then you make your leading. The computer can't get it all right. You should look at it and be like, I need it past what the computer can do, and just do it by hand. That literally took me a minute. You know, like it's not, I guess some of it's not like, I'm not trying to like figure out the way to get the computer to do it correctly. I just know if I do it by hand, I can do it right and correctly. And it's only one line. Like all these, it all lined up perfect. That one last line wasn't. I just pop it out, put it back in, and then get it to line up. So that period is in perfect alignment. Just the small things. And sometimes you'll see me type in like, if you do it by hand, that's what I mean. Like the computer can do so much, but the computer's programmed to put a spacing here. And then so it acts as that little line. Like if you go past it, it's going to shift it to the next line. So then you just got to beat it and be like, how do I make it pretend that there is no end there? And that's just making that its own text box. Easy peasy. I always talk about visual alignment. And I'm going to talk about that later. So this one, so close. Like if you have this N and this L, right? This is L. Then these should be playing with each other. You know what I mean? Like these two, I would, you know, like somehow, how do they should play with each ungroup? And I would do it like, why is that? Can't. Why are these grouped, but I can't ungroup object? Oh, there it is, ungroup. You know, like I would go in and then be like, you know what, this is a perfect spot where this L should end where that N does. And so I'm going to click back up. God damn it. Excuse me. Object, ungroup. And then I'm going to kern this myself. And I'm just using the tap. And I just like, I want that to be lined up with that. It's just visually appealing. You know what I mean? Like then you have this perfect line down as part of the design, and it doesn't take long to do that. Like I always am looking for like, how can I get things to line up either this way or this way? And that's one of them. It's not a big, not a big deal. I could have just grabbed it all, made it all a little bit smaller. There's a million ways, but like those should be recognizable points that like this end should line up with that line, which then comes out to here. So just things to look for. You know, when you're doing design, these are the things I look at and I'm like, oh, hey guys, you should try this. Look at that. Got two more. Bleed. Don't worry. This is always a tough one. I've dealt with this in the future. Perfect. Bleed on the bottom. Forgot to bleed on the top. All right, no big deal. Grab this, grab this, grab this. Wait, I don't want to grab those because I don't want to extend. I want to keep the baseline. I'm calling that the baseline. So I'm just going to go. Let's try that again. Maybe I shouldn't make a noise when I do it. That's fine. You know, this can be messy. They can go everywhere. Now that I know that these lines are in and correct, this line can just be pulled out. That's bleed. Like you can be sloppy with the bleed, but when this prints and it cuts, that line will have pure black around it. I know it's really weird. And I've dealt with like some very weird situations where like there's like a circle half going out and I've had to like add square parts to a circle that was cut off because like the corner was cropped up. It's like you have to do it. It's part of the job, but that's how you just like, well, what do I do? Because I want that line to end there. Well, it doesn't matter. You just pull it. And then when you export it, it's going to look just like it should. So there's that one. And then here's a final one. This is all good, but this recyclable packaging it's not needed to be down there. So I do this thing and it's something I talk about in Photoshop is like you have the power to make these changes that a professional designer might notice, but the average person won't. And it's all about like massaging the difference in. So I don't want recyclable packaging down here, but I don't want it to make it look like it's out of place. And so what I mean by that is like, so if I go to this and I open window, type character. All right, it's right there. The first thing I do is I go in and I think, okay, I can reduce the size. If I go to 11, it's a noticeable difference. But if I go to like 11.75, it's not a big noticeable difference because they're separated. So I got rid of one word, right? Now, what if I do the tracking and I just do like -2? Not enough. Oops. I go -5. I'll try -5. Oh, there we go. It moved it up. It's good. What if I try -4? 2. Okay, so it's got to be -5. That got that up to its upper line. A difference in 0.25 of a point and -5 on tracking isn't going to be visually noticeable to the average person. Yet I was able to get all this text up off that bottom right here. Sorry, I'm looking at up off the bottom right here. And I do that trick all the time. Like, honestly, all the time. That's how I get rid of widows. Like, I'll go up, besides just hitting returns, I'll be like, that one line, nobody notice if it's -5 tracking smaller. There's no, if you go big, but you just always do small movements, small little things that nobody would notice because you need to fix like one line. One line is too big out. Like maybe if you did this like you could be like, I'm just going to do this. And what if I do -5 there? It's going to bring up the A. But like there, and that just brings it in a little bit. Like bring it in a little bit. You can do that. You have the power as graphic designers to do that. All right, those are some quick little step throughs. I won't always do this. It's just because I was grading these and I had them open here and it was easy to do. Let's talk about Dr. Brownus. All right, saw one come through. Let me talk to you about what I do. Write it out. First thing, write out all the words. Piece of paper, you can do it on your fancy tablet. Write out the words and look at things. So I started writing. I wrote out Earth Day, title case with lowercase letters. And then here's the other thing. Then you have to think about like, what can I do? I can do an A like this, or I can do an A like this. Like there's several types of A's, and I just kind of have my general writing. Earth Day, title case, Earth Day, all caps. Celebration, lowercase, celebration, all caps. I'm just getting myself a visual, and it is quicker for me to handwrite this than it is to sit there and type it out. Here's the problem. Here's the reason why I don't like to type it out. I'm looking at the font usage. I'm looking at my fonts rather than looking at the letters and seeing comparison between letters. So now it's supposed to be like Earth Day celebration. Now I have these X's out on there for a reason, because I was like, oh, wait, if you write out, and it doesn't work. But it was easy for me to just do this and Earth. Okay, I was just writing it out. I got an E, I got an A, I got an R, I got a T, but I have no H. All right, so matching that, I can't do it. But that's why I was like, oh, is there a way to like, if I wrote this out and then, then it was like E-R-A-T, was in a different color. And so you would secretly see Earth in celebration. You know what I'm saying? And then I start that's what I start doing. Comparison. Like, what are these things? What are the letters saying to me? Not what is the font saying to me, but what are the letters saying to me? And then I was looking at my instructions and I was like, okay, here. So if I did a square box, I ran out of room. I'm like, okay, I can just have the logo in a square box. I can have Earth Day celebration, as a unit, something like that. It's pretty like right now I'm just thinking like bare bones. If you look at the Dr. Bronner site, it's dark blue and white, kind of bare bones, and kind of take out that. And then I have the 25% off. And then here's the kicker. That other part, all Dr. Bronner's products can be like this. All Dr. Bronner's products. You need to state that legally, because if it's in the store and you wrote, Earth Day celebration, 25% off, and then somebody's going to say, everything? And you're like, well, no, all Dr. Bronner's products, because like Walgreens sells Dr. Bronner's, and I think Walmart does too. But you need to say like all Dr. Bronner's products, small. So it doesn't have to be a huge part of this like idea in the logo. So this is where, this is my kickoff. And then I'm like, okay, I can just get another page. I just do this in Photoshop. Go back to black and white. And then, again, you're thinking like, I think I talked like, we got a globe. All right. So the circle, we all know it's a globe. And let's not do this. It's obvious. We know it, right? Great. That's a globe. How can I not do the globe but talk about the Earth? Like Earth, and then E, and I just A-R-T-H. Then what about day? Like D-A-Y. You could do that, D-A-Y, Earth Day. But then, the D, if you get it too close, it becomes Darth. So you maybe want to stay away from that. Oh my God, I don't want to do that. And this is TV time. You don't have to sit in front of the computer and stress about it. Get some paper, get some pens, and just you play with the letters. Okay, I got an E and a D. Do they match up good? I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know what that looks like. And then you make it thick. And it's just stuff like this to develop, like, what do I want before I start getting on the computer? It can be scratchy like this. Does that look good? Or is it now I'm just reading ed? So do I want to separate that out? And then, and again, we got the great cell EDC. Isn't that like a dance thing? Like some concerts? But I don't know. I feel like it is. Electronic dance. I don't know. EDM. I don't know. Isn't it EDM? Maybe I'm wrong. Okay. So like you just start playing around and feeling out where this needs to go. Don't start thinking about imagery. Think about the words and how we can get these to work with each other. The H, oops, that was a shitty H. An H and a D. They face each other because I was thinking Earth Day. Or even if we went all lowercase. I kind of like that E. Like now I just drew a weird E and it's really circular. So, this is now like, he's doing what he did for Scoops. So we have like all, here we have 4 circles. Oh my God. And then, so the 4 circles here, and it's, what is it? The air, fire, what are like the wind, like the 4 things they talk about, the 4 parts of Earth or whatever like that. And right there you have it. If you can kind of make these out of circles. So there's an idea. And that just came from me talking to you. Like, this is new. Talking to you and just like scratching around, you know, it's nothing great. And then I take these and then work further. And then I'm going to think about celebration. And of course, you know, we don't want to do the age old celebration because everybody does that. You know what I mean? But we keep it celebration. And then like my mind's going to celestial. Did anybody see the comment? I didn't get to see the comment. Celestial or celebration, and then how do we get that to work? You know, and it's like, is there a big C around this? Earth Day. Celebration. Oh, see, this might work. I think this is a direction. So, just talking to you. I don't know. That was, when did I say it? It's a couple minutes. I had some of this drawn out, but then I moved to this one and it came up with this idea. And this is all I need. Now I go, like, I'll keep scratching. But this is one. And when we talk about hierarchy, this is the hierarchy. Earth Day celebration. Then I'll figure out where does the logo fit, you know, which can just be a small square. It just needs to represent, you know, that Dr. Bronner. It doesn't have to be a huge part of it. And then we'll bring in, you know, like we have I'm looking at the height of letters, TION. Oh, got to make sure that's, and then like the 25%, you know, like how do we work that in so it's the same height off, you know, and that can be worked in, and we work it with the ascenders maybe somehow, or we look at, you know, circles. So when you go into this, that's why we're always saying, like, even if you can't draw, start by sketching and just trying stuff out. You can write letters. I'm assuming everybody here can write write letters on a piece of paper, and they don't have to be perfect. Look at this slop I just did, but my idea number 1 is right there. And that's actually probably 2 ideas that if I want to maybe work with this magic 4 circle thing, which may be too heady, but it may work. So play around. Don't just jump like straight to the computer, I'm going to knock this out. Like, there's way more that goes into this. And even if it's a type design, even if it's only type, like, start playing and finding where do things match up and how can you get them to match up, or, you know, think, you know, like, like 3 circles in a row here. If you go down, like, what can you get to happen, and playing around and shifting, and just type it real quick, or type it, excuse me. That's anti what I want you to do. Like, just draw it out. A couple pieces of paper in front of the TV. It's what I do. This is serious of what I do when I work on these projects with you guys. Like tonight, hopefully tonight, I'll be sitting down and I got crap ass iPad, or I'll use my drawing thing and just kind of keep going. We're watching TV. I don't want to watch what my kids watching. I just want to be in the same room. So I just kind of do it on my pad and hang out and do this. So there you go. Any questions, comments, or concerns? All right, cool. You know how to get a hold of me. I'm around. Yeah, have fun with it. I always say that with everybody. I think this is fun no matter what you do. So there you go. Take care. I know how to get, you know how to get a hold of me. I will be up to date on grades by tomorrow, no matter what. And I will check on the midweek reviews after my next class today. And then those will be up to date. So nobody will be waiting on me for anything. So, all right, cool. Thank you very much. Talk to you guys on Tuesday and on the discussion boards. All right. Bye-bye.